How's it, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Nathan's Notables. We had a full slate of games this past week. Well, almost full slate. Mother Nature put a little dent in that. Friday, Saturday, snowstorm. But we had a whole week, a lot of games, a lot of good stuff. And Mudecas finals and placing matches was canceled for the boys on Saturday. But the girls were able to finish their respective tournaments. And that leads me right into passing the eye test. I covered Mudecas all week. And the Diller-Odell girls got the job done against Tri-County in a tremendous game for both squads, very competitive. And Diller-Odell ended up pulling out the victory, and right down to the wire. And that was a heck of a game. It was 45-44 win for Diller-Odell. Emily Swanson, our area athlete of the week, she led the team in scoring in all three of their games in Mudecas. Kind of a coming out party for her. Especially considering she just moved to the post this year. She's only probably about 5'7", 5'8", so she's quite the scrapper for her size inside. So that passed my eye test. And Tri-County boys basketball, they beat the biggest win of the year against Class C2 number 4 Freeman. They're ranked 6th now, and Tri-County moved up to number 5 in Lincoln Journal-Star's latest rankings. So that win moved them up, and that was a tremendous game, 41-39. So I had the pleasure of covering both of those games. Both of those teams passed my eye test. Cole Seams had 20 points, or yes, right around 20 in that game. He was on fire, made some big threes. They had a 19-point third quarter, so they almost scored half their points in one quarter. And Tri-County, I find, plays one just amazing quarter a game, but they were able to string it all together there, and they're looking really well, and now ranked number 5. Clearly a contender in that classification. Starting number 3, Tri-County boys, as I already mentioned, they passed my eye test, but they're coming in at number 3 for their win over Freeman. And they got a championship match against Falls City Sacred Heart that got rescheduled to February 11th at 7:45 p.m. at Beatrice High School. I will be there to cover that when it happens. It's a ways away, but moving into the finals, and they lost to Sacred Heart by 4 earlier in the year. Looking forward to that matchup. But Cole Seams, what you need to know about that win is he had 17 points in the second half of that game. He had 4 3-pointers and just a clutch performance in the second half to be able to get that win for him. And he finished the game with 21. And that was a big-time win. They're at number 3 for me. And number 2 is Fairbury girls basketball getting an overtime win over Auburn. That was, wish I could have been there for that one, but that was going on Friday night, same time as the Diller-Odell Tri-County Mudecas Championship. But that was the biggest win of the season for them. They had beat 2 other teams with winning records, and that Milford win earlier in the year was about as good. But Auburn are they're sub-district rivals. They face each other. A lot of rivalry in volleyball, and big-time win for them. And the stats, Ellie Oldie, she was our athlete of the week, and she scored 13 points in that game, and that was a team high. And that was a really good performance for her. I believe that was the 3rd time she reached double-digit scoring this season. So she's really coming on as that team's point guard, only a sophomore. So that was a really good performance for her. And Sarah Huss, 12 points, 13 rebounds, and that's her 8th double-double of the season, dominating the inside. And that summer basketball is showing how it's paying off. And this team's coming together, hitting their stride. I like what they're doing. 6 wins in a row. And I wanted to see that matchup with Clay Center on Saturday, but that snow threw a wrench in that. But we got some exciting matchups to come. Sutton tomorrow, Fairbury will play, and I'll be at that game covering that. I look for their success to continue against them. And number 1, I mean, winning Mudecas Championship is phenomenal. And I believe John Moore, Diller-Odell head coach for the Diller-Odell girls basketball team, said it's first time since 2006 since he's been a part of a championship team, whether it's Division A or B. Winning Mudecas is tough. You got to win 3 games in a row in a 4-day span. And Diller-Odell girls did that. They're 8-5. They beat Tri-County. And they were down 28-22 in the 3rd quarter and came back and had a really phenomenal 4th quarter. Emily Swanson scored 5 of their 7 points in the last 6 minutes. And that was a really fun game. Everybody who was there, I think, can agree with me on that one. and we do have a video showing the end of that on Fairbury TV and Fairbury Journal News. Check it out. And we actually have the ending of the Freeman and Tri-County boys game as well on there. So we got some clips on there, and you can check that out. And also got articles in our papers. So, and honorable mention is Thayer Central Wrestling team, flying under the radar, but they're second in wildcard points for state duels right now in Class D. So therefore, they're the second best team in Class D. And although they're not getting a lot of respect from media outlets, they're definitely on my radar as one of the top teams that can contend in Class D. And that's just shows the development that Josh Bowers has going over there. And freshman Brenner McLaughlin, he's had a tremendous impact on that team. Him and Keegan Casey won the Elm Creek Invite on Friday, and then they won the Gibbon Invite on Saturday. Both of them went undefeated at both tournaments, and they both beat ranked opponents from Burwell. So that was big time wins for them. And Thayer Central as a team won the Elm Creek Invite and then took a runner-up at the Gibbon Invite the next day. And both tournaments out in central Nebraska. And that was great performances for them. And I look forward to covering them as long as Mother Nature doesn't throw another wrench at us, which it very well could. On Friday, they got hosting a tournament, but I'll get to that here a little bit later. Favorite photo this week, well, it just so happens that I couldn't decide between two, so I decided that I'm having two favorite photos of the week because they're equal in my mind. And first one, Cole Seams and Lucas Weiss are celebrating right after they took the lead against Freeman in the fourth quarter. Cole had hit a big three. Freeman called a timeout as they were coming to the huddle. They were both yelling in celebration and a lot of passion out of that team. And what a fun game that was. And always trying to capture those emotional moments during victory. And that was, really enjoyed that. And glad I was able to catch that one. And then the other one is Diller-Odell, Emily Swanson, you'll see on the left, is battling for a rebound with Madison Freeze. And it was a very intense moment. I was right under the basket then, and that was both very, you could see on their face that both of them really want that ball, and very competitive trip, physical game, very physical game, a lot of fouls, a lot of free throws, but man, was it a fun one to watch. And that photo kind of captures the intensity of that entire game. So, 3 contests and events to look forward to the next 3 days. Now, I know some got canceled that I chose last week, so got to be out in social media and check in. You know, we'll have you covered and let you know on social media what's out there. But we'll go to number 3. It's Meridian and Tri-County Wrestling at Thayer Central Invite. 3 area wrestling teams, and so that's one. You want to check out some good area wrestling. Get to that, check it out. It starts at 3:30 p.m. on Friday at Thayer Central High School in Hebron. And 3 wrestlers to watch for at that. Keegan Casey, 126 pounds, and then Micah Noel and Brandon Beeson. Micah Noel, Meridian, Brandon Beeson, Tri-County, both 182 pounders, and I'm looking forward to that matchup. And I really hope it happens. Not sure the format of that tournament, but I'll be looking for that one, and maybe I'll get some video of that. You can check it out this next week. And number 2, Tri-County Wrestling is heading to Wilber-Clatonia for a duel, and I watched this one last year. Really good between those squads. Both are quality squads, and they have near full lineups, so there may be 1 or 2 forfeits in that, but as long as everybody's healthy for it, it'll be a fun one. That's at Wilber-Clatonia on Thursday, and Wilber-Clatonia has a 16-4 dual record. Tri-County has a 12-6 dual record. And the matchup to watch for in that one, returning state qualifier matchup between Drew Garrison for Tri-County and Nathan Paddock for Wilber-Clatonia at 120 pounds. Garrison's 8-1 this year, Paddock's 18-2. So that's going to be a good one to watch. And number 1, we got Wilber-Clatonia basketball is going to be playing at Freeman on Thursday. Now Wilber-Clatonia was ranked, they fell back out of the rankings in C2. But they're a ratings contender according to Lincoln Journal-Star. And Freeman's coming off that loss to Tri-County. You know they're going to be hungry. I fully expect a phenomenal matchup between that one that'll come down to the wire. And that's on Thursday at Freeman. If Wilber-Clatonia can get that win, they'll get themselves back in the ratings. And, you know, it's going to be fun. Maybe Wilber-Clatonia and Tri-County will make state in that Class C too. It should be fun to play out. But those are my 3 events to watch for. And as always, I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll hope to see you next week for another edition of Nathan's Notable.